Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Icewater 815. Hey, in this video, I just want to clear up a couple things. Most importantly, I want to let people know why I choose to be an owner operator or my own motor carrier. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing in this video. I'm going to talk about some other things, but that's the most important thing. So if you're curious as to why I choose to be a motor carrier despite the ups and downs of the industry, stay tuned. They say never. I say never tell me what to do. A person will never put you in a position above them. That's never a lie, always true. Success never comes without risk, and risk never comes without fear. YouTube is a smoke and mirror, never how it appear. All right, I think it's important to start and let y'all know I didn't really come from a trucking family or anything like that. Not to say that it wasn't individuals in my family who were that drove trucks, because it was. I had my Uncle Dave, my Uncle Mott, my Uncle Frank by marriage, and my dad all drove trucks. So I don't want you to think that I never heard about driving a truck or anything like that, but trust and believe, I wasn't close to none of them. Even my daddy, he didn't even raise me. So, it ain't like, yeah, he didn't raise me. Of course, when I was little, I used to ride in the truck with him. He drove it wasn't a sleeper truck. It was more like it was a day cab, and he drove it for the service for the National Guard. And if we had overnight trips, we stay in hotels. But I'm little, so we not even gonna count that. And when I got older, I had an Uncle Dave. He was pulling fuel tankers down in Texas, and he was big in the trucking. And when I got old enough and had a couple dollars, I approached him and I was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I want to get in the truck and I want to buy a truck. I gave him a couple dollars. He ran off with my bread. So it ain't like I ain't really have no, didn't nobody in my family help me get in the trucking. I stumbled into trucking. Now, with that being said, I say that because everything that I've learned from trucking is because I made mistakes or I took time and I did the research. So when people be like, oh, you said this and you shouldn't have said that, man, I do this trucking thing on a real high level, and I know that they haven't been paying attention to my journey on YouTube, which is documented in pieces. Like, I didn't document everything, but when I literally started with my own authority, I think this is important. I started running loads for C.H. Robinson. I didn't have no cash reserves like everybody saying save up all this money and all that. What I had was I went to a mom and pop gas station that sold diesel. It was this dude named Daryl Mosley. He was a black dude. He owned the gas station. I asked him, could I get a line of credit to fill up my truck for the week? And when I came back on the weekend, I would pay off the diesel. So I start with a full tank. I run C.H. Robinson loads, and I take half of every load I booked in a T-check. That's how I made it to get my diesel. I strictly came up off that. Why do I like being an owner operator? Why do I choose to continue to be an owner operator / motor carrier? That's what you're here for, right? Well, for me, two reasons. One, trucking saved me from myself. And I won't go into no long, drawn out debate about, the things that I went through or the things that happened. All I can say is, when I started going over the road and I was alone in that truck, it gave me the opportunity to look at my life from the outside instead of always being so busy that I didn't pay attention to the life that I was living. So trucking literally saved me from myself. Keep that in mind. So once I realized that, I began to fall in love with trucking because what it had done for me. And another way that it helped me and saved me from myself is I used to drink every day. I ain't gonna say I was no alcoholic or whatever. If so, I was a functional alcoholic. But me and the group of people that I was hanging with, we was drinking Hennessy and Red Bull every day, all day. Then we switched to Patron when Patron came out. But when I got my CDLs, I started taking my CDLs a lot more serious, and I stopped drinking, which allowed me to have a more clearer mind, which allowed me to save myself from myself. The next thing that helped me fall in love with trucking was the freedom that being my own boss gave me. And to me, there's no better feeling in the world. So when people be like, oh, well, if times is rough and you're not making no money, just go get a company job and blase, or do this. That's what I hear a lot, especially when I put out videos. One, I don't want a company job because I don't want to work every day. That's why I'm my own motor carrier. If I wake up and decide I don't want to go to work, I'm set up in a way where I don't have to go to work. Two, what's become more important to me in life as I've gotten older is my time. And I don't want to get that up right now. I'm not at the point. Clearly, if things got really, really bad for me, sure, I would go get a job and work for somebody, or I would go do something else. I'm not at that point yet. So another thing I hear is they like, well, switch divisions. You know, don't do this, don't do that. I've been around trucking long enough to know that I could go switch divisions. But a lot of people that say that, I got an issue with them when they say that, because they don't give you no plug about how to get into a division. They just throw something out, oh, just go pull tanker. Oh, just go heavy haul. Man, you think it's that easy? I don't know if it was that easy for them, because I don't even know if they got a channel and they putting information out like I do, but it's not that easy for me. Based on where I live at, it's not that easy for me to jump into tanker. It's not that easy for me to jump into heavy haul. It'll probably be pretty easy for me to jump in the flatbed, but the flatbed companies around here got everything sold up, so I would have to venture out and do this and do that. Nah, I'll just stick with the reefer. They let me get money in the reefer. I'm cool with that. So that's why I am a motor carrier. Now, I don't know that it's going to work for everybody, because everybody is different. And a lot of people, they be like, oh, well, what companies, I want to get in the truck, and what company should I start with? I can't tell you that. I didn't start with a company. When I got into trucking, I leased on with somebody that I found off of Craigslist. And we had a disagreement. We fell out. It was a woman in my town. Shout out to Becky. It was a woman in my town who was running some trucks. Her husband was a driver, and she was running some trucks. Very, very, very knowledgeable woman. She let me come on under her authority, and I started running loads under her authority. I think she was charging me like 10% of the load, and half the time she wouldn't even charge me. We just got that cool, and I would do stuff for her. I would help her husband out. We would shuttle the trailers back and forth, and then she just got frustrated with it one day and decided she didn't want owner-operators under her operating authority no more. And so then I sort of was forced to get my own authority, because I'm not sure I would have left from under her umbrella had she had not done what she done. So it's important for people to understand my journey so they can understand my videos, because they think that when I make a video and I'm emotional or I'm passionate about a topic or something like that, that I'm complaining. I'm not complaining. I love trucking. And the reason that I'm saying I'm not complaining, even when I go on my rants, is because this is a job that I chose to do. I'm not forced to be a truck driver. And I try to get people to understand that if you choose this job, you shouldn't do no complaining. This not like I got drafted into being a truck driver. It's not like I got sentenced to it. I actually went out, got the permit, practiced, took the test, paid money to take the test to become a truck driver. I knew what I was getting into. Nah, I thought I knew what I was getting into, but I had a pretty good idea. And one of the reasons that I do YouTube videos is so for other people who getting into trucking, they have a pretty good idea of what they getting into, because a lot of people on social media, they make it look like it's nice and glamorous to be a truck driver. And the truth is, it's not. Every relationship that you had before becoming a truck driver will be impacted because the job of being a truck driver requires so much of your time. If you don't get nothing else out of this video, understand that no matter if you work for a company, no matter if you local and you home overnight, no matter if you over the road, you regional, you home every weekend, no matter you stay out for 3 months and come home for 2 weeks, I don't care what job you do in trucking. Trucking is so time demanding. Every relationship that you have will be impacted. And all I'm going to say, I'm going to end this on this. Before you get into the trucking industry, make sure you understand the industry and what the requirements of the industry are, and that you have a solid foundation in your relationships.
Been through a lot of pain in my life, and I pray the Lord take it all away.